The title "Hunting Spaces with Dada" is because I go often walking with Dada, the dog, and she hunts for rabbits that she hardly actually catches. But it's funny because, you know, it's always the same spaces for Dada. She knows them. I mean, when we come by car or by bike, she knows where we are going. She knows exactly the same corners and everything. But she has the, how do you say, the curiosity and the joy of always it's a new space. Always it's a new hunt. It's a new search for something. Berlin is this perfect city for being actually a tourist, even if you live there since long time. Like I feel I do, but you know, what's long? When is long enough to feel like you actually own a city? It's not about owning a city. It's not about having the right, so to speak, to go and be almost bored by a city. I think it's a good thing that you have the chance to play a bit the one who can be surprised by spaces he actually knows. So I discovered myself when we walk, most of all in this season in autumn, always being super happy and fascinated by what I see, and I see it every year, and I constantly come. It's not the first time today that I do actually this walk, but it's every time just nice. And one of the reasons is that you will walk through some spaces which are sometimes a bit weird in terms of they don't have to be good, they don't have to be like architectonically genius, although we'll see some of that as well, because Berlin is rich of really brilliant architecture or let's say urban planning, city planning, but sometimes they're just spaces which kind of automatically come out through the mixture of other spaces. The idea today is also like to not be here and tell you about buildings or spaces in terms of like who built that, when it was built, and the history behind. These are all informations that you nowadays can have super easily anywhere you are, and best at home on the internet or with books, not really through walking around. So it's not about like giving information about a space, but it's more about like, what do you think about a space that I might haven't thought about before. So maybe I'm showing you something, but my hope is that actually we'll gain all something through the interaction between us in the space. So it could be funny, it could be boring, it could be different than I always thought. I think these spaces here that I'd like to walk through are very different in terms of scale as well. We are we're gonna be basically, it's around Tiergarten. The start is here where there's the Carillon, the Kongresshalle of the Haus der Kultur an der Welt, the Kanzleramt, which is like, it's basically part of a almost 2 kilometers long building, which is very monumental in the architecture if you want. Of course you feel the idea of Berlin as a, of course, center of Germany, but also of Europe, and very key point in the social dynamics in the history, past but very modern history, and also contemporary history. So spaces which are super wide and big, where you feel a certain weight or somehow monumentality is a word that I think it applies to this one. But we'll also see some spaces just next to them or mixed inside them, which are maybe small or improvised. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of fascinating, I think, that in Berlin, like in many other places, but there's this possibility of being between different happenings, different feelings of people living in the city, living the city.